Starting from this episode, we'll be helping you set up your own workplace playbook. Firstly, by looking at the 5 steps to leading your organization to embracing napping. Hi, and welcome to the Snooze Strategists. This is the show where we share with you how to be more focused, rested, and productive by providing strategies to manage your energy levels through better sleep. I'm Alex Young, a tech founder and corporate problem solver with over 20 years of experience not getting enough sleep.
I'm Mashen Vitana, a sleep scientist and an innovator who knows how to make dreams a reality.
Nice one, Ashen. So exactly how do you do that?
I think step by step, we'll take everyone through that. I think we have already done in the last 10 episodes of this journey.
Very good. Very good. So for this episode, we're looking at something that we visited before, which was around one of the early episodes was talking about napping and the value of napping in the workplace, particularly as we've sort of ascertained, Australians in particular, if not globally, are struggling with getting adequate sleep. So we talked about napping, and you were sharing the duration and how it can be done effectively. And now we're going to go through a little bit of a playbook or helping you create your own playbook when it comes to establishing workplace napping. So we've got a 5-step program that will sort of like walk you through each of those components. I guess to start off with, there was this great quote that I found, Ashen, which was from Anna Krieger, the medical director of the Center for Sleep Medicine at Weill Cornell Medicine and New York Presbyterian Hospital. And then she says, "We can easily try to steal time from sleep. The net result is that we are tired during the day." What do you think about that?
Wow, that's just pure gold, isn't it? Unfortunately, I think I'm guilty of that as well. We don't realize that. We don't understand that. It's okay to go to bed half an hour early. You don't have to finish this report. No one's going to read it in the next 12 hours. Just have a good nap, have a good sleep, and finish it off in the morning. I think that's a great quote to live by for everyone.
And as we've already discovered, or I've discovered, it can be very difficult to manage your sleep, but there are many ways that we've already talked about and will talk about in terms of how do you claw back that very important sleep.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at have a look at this playbook here. So the starting point here is building a case to manage support. So this is the first of 5 parts of this. So the first step here, and unless you are in management and maybe you are a leader of some shape or form, or maybe you run a small startup, but for everyone else, there is a need to build a case to gain management support. What kind of things should people consider as part of building this case, Ashen?
I think I would start with getting there are really good research out there about the benefits of napping, increase in health and safety improvements, productivity. Bring all these numbers, because for humans, I think nothing speaks louder than having numbers there. So if you build a report strongly around those benefits of increased productivity, increased satisfaction of the employees, I think that will really get to the manager's head, because this, I think, step 1 of this playbook, I think it will be the hardest one. So if you build a solid foundation around scientific research, evidence that currently available, I think you are into a good start.
Yep. And I guess as part of that, by management, it's really, depending on the size of your organization, it may be human resources, people and culture. Maybe there's already an existing health and wellness program, and this can be part of it. So there's you're not starting from scratch, and you can extend existing things. Another component may be creating a nap policy. I mean, that's something from a governance perspective. People are always a little bit concerned about, what's going to happen? Everyone's going to take naps all the time. And it's like, no, there's actually, as you sort of called out, there's a certain time of the day, maybe after lunchtime. Maybe there's a clear defined 15 to 20 minutes as part of that to sort of clarify, like, how does it work? What's the process? And management may not always be on the ball with the details, but the more you can spell out, the more reasonable and well thought out this may sound.
Yeah, true. And because this is such a novel thing, especially for Australian companies, I know US, we got few more. So it's very important you spelling out all these little things, as you mentioned. It's not like everyone can nap for 2 hours a day. We'll have clear guidelines. It's a step-by-step process. I think if you have a lot of fine detail and take your manager through that, I'm sure you can get the buy-in from the leadership.
Yep. And if you sort of paint that picture, like in terms of, you have lunch, you book in some time in your calendar, it's for this purpose, it's not an hour, you sort of help create some assurance around the clarity of how it may work. The next one, number 2, is setting up the right environment. So this picture we're looking at has got some depictions of different setups, and it's not just sleep pods, it's actual environments. I can see things to do with lighting. I can see things about the textures and the shapes and the locations. It looks very much like there's designated sleep areas. What are your thoughts in terms of all those environmental factors?
I think if it's on-site, in-office location, you must have a designated area. One, you need that calm, quiet environment for you to relax and have a nap. So sleep pods are, I think, very common in US. A lot of the big tech companies like your Cisco, your Google, they have been doing this for a while now. But I think, first step, having a dedicated location, whether it's a big room with multiple pods or couches for them staff to snooze, and the lighting plays an important role as well. Smart lighting can be a good option where if someone sleeps and if it's just one person pod or a small room, you can set the alarm 20-25 minutes, alarm goes off, you wake up and the automatically bright light comes up. I would try to incorporate some music, because a lot of the people find relaxing music helps them to kind of wind down, and because it will take about 5-10 minutes for you to actually fall asleep. You're coming from work, so it's important to have that break. And I think, as you mentioned, whether it's a nap or a room, make sure everyone knows it as a sleep environment, so you don't get water cooler chat outside where everyone just having a chat and disrupt your snooze. So the quieter environment helps too.
Okay, so at a minimum, a designated room or location, corner of the building, or something with some particular, whether it's some signage or something, so it's not at your desk. Ideally, sleep pods are great, but they do come at a price as well. But consideration for those environmental factors, the lighting, as you called out, sound, things to do with comfort, as well as ensuring that you're not disturbing others that are also trying to sleep around you.
That's true. You're right. The pods can be expensive. I mean, as an initial first step, you can probably have a designated room with maybe some couple of couches for you to snooze. You can provide eye masks or the eye pillows, as they call it now, with some earplugs or soundproof headphones for them to listen to some music. So it doesn't have to be the high-tech sleep pods, I guess, as a first step. You can start small and see the benefits.
Okay. Number 3, encourage the use and embed into the health culture. So there's 2 components there. One is encourage use from top down. So from management down, encourage it. Like they're there for a reason. Don't make people feel like it's an awkward thing to actually use it. Make it the norm. And that's embedding it into the organizational culture. We are great because we care about and prioritize productivity through better sleep. It's not you you don't get enough sleep, so you're going to have to make up for it at work. And I think that messaging is critical, because that's part of that it's probably a critical success component, that there's encouragement and people all at all levels feel like they can participate and utilize and benefit from it.
That's true. I really agree. I think we have mentioned it many times in this podcast. The sleep is a taboo topic. Still, it's not a mainstream topic that everyone talks about, health and wellness. So I think it's important managers or the leaders of the organization to actively advocate and support this, which will kind of tie into that first step of that, getting the buy-in.
Yeah. So management stories is a small thing to do, but it means a lot to avoid a distinction between the behaviors for management and behaviors for workers. There shouldn't be a divide. It should be something that it's quite clear everyone benefits from. But the other component is also that onboarding. So when you join this, our organization who is putting this in place, it's great to include as part of the onboarding for every new employee, make them aware this is our culture, this is what we do, it's normal, feel free to participate, and sell it as part of that employee value proposition.
Yeah, I think that will actually help to attract more talent to your organization as well, because you're actively promoting the healthy lifestyle, and you show that you care for the for the employee. So you're just employees, not another number. So I think that would add multiple layers of value.
Yeah, which is increasingly important now, that the employee experience is so critical, is as part of this new way of working, this post-COVID world where care and consideration for health is such of high value.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next one, continuous education as part of health and wellbeing programs. So this is calling out that you may put in place this program today, you don't want it to disappear next year or in 5 years. How do you ensure that people are aware of its benefit, and not that, oh, this is one of those wacky things that was introduced last year? How do you maintain that visibility of the benefit at all levels?
I think the key will be to integrate the napping policy to the broader health and well-being program. So we actively promote napping as part of the employee health and well-being, and napping is just part of once again a broader discussion on sleep. I think we are advocating developing a work plan or a workplace around employees' sleep, because sleep, if we can get the sleep right, you will have the most productive staff on your team. You'll have the happiest staff on your sleep team, and you will have a brand name evolving around this, saying we actually genuinely care about our staff. So and this continuous education piece about benefits of proper sleep, benefits of having nap, and how to have a good nap. I think we mentioned that in our second episode. Build a continuous story, not just have a big education program rolled out and then forget about it, but make sure employees regularly being educated about the benefits and the value sleep would bring into the organization and to themselves.
Yep, exactly. So it's part of a growing, it's almost strengthens your health and well-being program, and may be part of the missing piece of the puzzle. So it's important to embed it as part of that.
Absolutely.
The last one is measuring the benefit. So as I sort of called out before, you don't want this program to disappear tomorrow, and you do want to continue to see the benefits and understand how you can improve it. So a few of the considerations there may be putting in pre, mid, post surveys. How are people feeling now? So there's some perception, and then how have they utilized it? What are the benefits they're seeing? So it's a little bit of that satisfaction as well as the productivity. Are there any other things in particular that you want to call out with regards to what are some of the other benefits that we should be covering?
I think service is a great way, because then you can get some feedback on how might we improve this current napping process. Otherwise, I would try to look into the work hours, how long these employees work per day, whether that can get improved over time with the napping, um, amount of time they work on particular tasks.
Mm.
I think those will provide really good indications of how good this policy is working for the teams. And I think more than that, if you just monitor the employee satisfaction, I feel like there's so much in it for the team.
Okay, very good. So that covers, just do a quick recap here. That covers the 5 steps that we recommend. So once again, first of all, build that case to gain management support, unless you are actually management, and go ahead and just get it done. Setting up the right environment and considering it. Where would it happen? What's required? Do you actually need budget? Can you move some chairs around and just set something up? But whatever it is, be intentional about that. If you need be, do a trial, start in light and set something up. Thirdly, encourage the use and embed it into your culture. Make sure that this is something that those from top down are encouraged to use, and those in management roles can actually share and talk about the benefits that they're seeing. The fourth one is continuous education as part of the health and wellbeing program. Make sure it's well embedded. Make sure it's actually the benefits of it are clear to everyone. The worst thing possible is someone popping up 5 years down the track saying, "Why did we do this thing? Who introduced this, and what are we expecting to get out of it?" And then finally, that measuring the benefit, which will help avoid that, but also give you some learnings, because you may need to tweak a few things. You won't always get it right the first time round. So measure the benefits and have it documented. Communicate that back to the business as part of this is a part of a number of different initiatives you may put in place to strengthen that productivity in the workplace offering. Any final notes to add to that, Ashen?
No, I think we covered the basic steps, and make sure you implement, and in the nap policy, make sure you provide some suggestions on how to have a good nap as well, because that's for most people is a novel concept, even though we just snooze off in the past.
That's true. We'd love to hear from anyone else if they've implemented or put in place these type of workplace napping programs. It's quite new and fresh in Australia, so don't have a lot of examples of it, but I know that in the past there have been napping rooms made available. But that's it for today's episode, fellow Snooze strategists. We hope you found our tips valuable and helping create a more restful and work environment. Remember, a well-rested team is a winning team, and it's time we all started taking naps seriously. And before you doze off, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, or follow if you're listening to the podcast. We'll be back next week with more insights and strategies to help you elevate your office napping game. Until then, we're Alex and Ashen, your trusty Snooze strategists, reminding you to catch those Z's and keep dreaming of a well-rested world. Sweet dreams, and see you next time.